Hi Stampers, this is Karen Phillip. I'm a Stampin Up Demonstrator and I'm pleased to show you this card, and I'm calling it No Line Stamping. Here's the card and here is the sample. So let's get started. Okay, so what I did is I got this idea from another demonstrator, and I'm using the stamp set Enduring Beauty along with the masks that come with it. These are the masks, they're Enduring Beauty masks. And the reason why I'm calling it No Line is I'll show you the difference. So here is the set with no lines in it, and here is one that's actually stamped in black. And I really prefer the darkness of this one with the no lines. And you could emboss this, you can do whatever you want, but I just wanted to show the no line technique. Okay, not clear yet, I'm sure. So what I did, oh, and here's another sample in the yellow. This is with lines and this is with no lines. You can just see the definition then. It's more like a watercolor with the no lines. Alright, I just have a little silicone pad that I have here. You could use anything to keep everything in place. It just works easier with everything. Get my kit out. Alright, so this is just 3 3/4 by 5. I'm setting it down, and then I'm using the stamp set, and I pre-marked it with some arrows on my block so that I know that this top part goes, this part actually is what I'll need first. It just makes it easier to line things up. So I'm using my new Basic Beige ink, and we'll ink it up. And this is where you get a really light image, but you still can see it. I'm inking it up, and then we will stamp it on our cardstock here. Okay, and again my arrows are up, and we'll just kind of center it on the paper like so. Oops. Okay. I'm going to take this piece out of here. Too many papers, it won't stick. Alright, I'm going to take that off. And you can see now it's just a really light image. And we're just going to kind of stick that on there. So what I'm going to do now is take number 1 of the mask, and I just took a Sharpie and just kind of colored in the one because they're clear, and then wiped it off a little bit, and then the number stayed number 1. I did that with all the masks so that I can, it's just easier to see which number you have. So now this particular one, I've used this before, so I put a little notch on my little sheet. You could do it on the paper, and I'm going to line that up with that notch because I lined it up, or I made the arrows go up on the stamp set. I'm going to line this up right here with my first, there we go. So now everything will line up when I use this little notch up here. So I'm going to take my Petunia Pop, one of the new ink colors, and we're going to just, I'm using daubers. You could use blends. Daubers work nice. And off a little bit here. There we go. Oops, now I moved it this way. It's really sticky. Okay, come on. There we go. And I like to start off onto the mask itself because you might get a big blob, and then just kind of take some of the ink off of that blob that you just put on there, and just give it a little, I like circular motions. And it doesn't have to be even because that does give it a little more texture. So we're just doing all the colors. See, now here it went a little darker because I didn't go off of the design. Okay, so we'll remove that. And then we just take this and put it under the faucet, and it just cleans it right off. If you use a baby wipe, like we do with a lot of things, it tends to smear it more, and so it's just easier, I think. So now these masks, for some reason, are, I'm going to say, out of order. So I'm using mask number 3 because I want to use the same color. So I'm putting it in that little notchy area. And again, I moved it a little bit, so I have to line it up. But at least now I know where it goes, you know, the general idea. So now I'm going downward in this because my mask got a little bit bent. So I'm trying to avoid breaking that off. But again, you kind of keep your... Now this you don't have to jab off or blob off, because... stamp off, I guess is the real word. Because you want this darker. And be careful, now I have some on my finger. I'll just take that off so I don't smear up the card. Okay. Alright, so that's all we need for the Petunia Pop. And you can see the look that it's getting. It's this simple. I'll close that up, and now we'll do the Summer Splash. Okay. And we'll use number 2. Again, they're out of order, but you can do it in order, but then you're just switching colors, and I like to keep all one color. Okay, I'm lining it up. And because we have lines there, you could do it with no lines at all, but this way you have a better chance of lining everything up as well. Again, I don't want this too dark. So now I'm doing the leaves. It's a good color combination. I don't need to ink this one up as much. It's a pretty strong color. There we go. And next we will use the number 4. And again, so you're putting it right into that little notch up here. That's what I'm doing. And then I'm adjusting it a little bit because it moved. Now I'll do the same with the Summer Splash. And again, this has little pieces that might pop up. This one has a little piece that popped up. So I'm going in that motion so that I don't rip it. And this one also has some stems in there that you want to make sure that you hit, not just hit the leaves. A lot of people miss those. So just make sure you hit all the stems. Pretty much go over the whole mask. Forgot these. Okay. And then the last one, so you can see how the leaves all got their veins in there now. Last one is number 5. Putting it in that same spot. We're close to it. When things move, you just gotta adjust a little bit. And that we will do in black. I'm just using my black Memento ink. And, oh, I'm missing the dauber. Where's the dauber? Okay, I can't find the dauber. So, what we will do is I'll just show you then. So, you would do this with the black. And then you'll get your whole image that you're going for. And then for your sample, you'll just do a portion of it and do the same thing. So here you can see that I did do the black. What happened to my dauber? You never know. Especially after a class. Okay. So what I did then also is, again, pretend the centers are there, is I took the speckles, they're little dots, from the country birdhouse, and I'm using my basic beige again, and I'm just putting a couple dots all over it, just to give it a little bit of texture and a little something. And it just kind of adds, you can kind of see it, but that's the point. You don't want it to overpower anything. Alright, so let me get the card out again. Okay, so here's what it'll look like. You'll just assemble it, add a little sentiment on the bottom. And where's the finished one? And, alright, give me trouble now. Where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. Duh. And then I also added, here's the sentiment, it just says hello. And then I added 2, what do you call those, dragonflies. One here and one here. Just for a little, gave it a little oomph. So that's basically it for this card. And I hope you enjoyed watching how to make this. And I have a great day. Thank you.